Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Todd and Julie Chrisley admit to troubles adjusting to life after prison. Todd and Julie Chrisley famously saw an early release from prison thanks to a presidential pardon. Since then, however, they've been sharing what their time was like behind bars with various outlets. In a recent share, the Chrisley Knows Best stars have made surprising claims about what it was like adjusting to the outside world since their release. Todd and Julie Chrisley recently talked about their current situation during their podcast. Todd and Julie Chrisley became known to fans through the USA Network series, Chrisley Knows Best. In 2022, however, the two were convicted of various charges, including tax evasion and bank fraud. This led to the couple getting sentenced to a combined 19 years behind bars. Back in May, however, the couple saw an early release thanks to a presidential pardon from President Donald Trump. Following their release, Todd and Julie have been sharing their story with various outlets. Recently, Todd and Julie talked about the release on their podcast series, Chrisley Confessions 2.0. During the conversation, they shared that they actually had some difficulties adjusting to life in the outside world, despite their early release. Julie noted that she spoke with other women in her position. She shared, "I've actually talked to a few of the women that I was in prison with that are already home. And we all have this general consensus that it's kind of weird to even say it." Todd reassured her, "No, it's not weird. Life is rougher than prison life. I mean, that's a sad thing to say because it is so horrific, the conditions that you're there for, but that's from a physical standpoint. But from an emotional and psychological standpoint, it is harder dealing with day to day." The Chrisley Knows Best stars shared that the pardon still helped make their transition easier. Julie then highlighted how inmates have a lack of control in their lives during their time in prison. She shared, "There's very little you can do because you're in prison. And people told me this when I first got there. You can't live out there and in here at the same time because it'll literally run you crazy. And the longer you're there, the more removed you become to the world." The Chrisley Knows Best matriarch continued, noting that inmates eventually get accustomed to their new lives. She added, "The longer that people are away from their kids, as crazy as it sounds, because it's a double-edged sword, the easier it becomes because you get into your own routine." That said, the couple shared that they were grateful to get a pardon. Todd even noted how it made the transition easier than if they just finished their set time. He explained, "We didn't have to go to a halfway house, so we don't have to answer to a probation officer. We're not limited as to where we can go and how we can move, so I think we were thrown right back into the real world." In an emotional and brutally honest interview that aired today, Chrisley Knows Best stars Todd and Julie Chrisley broke their silence about life after prison, and what they revealed has left fans stunned. Sitting side by side in a quiet Nashville studio, the once glamorous couple looked nearly unrecognizable. Todd's once perfectly coiffed silver hair had grown out and showed hints of thinning, and Julie's face, typically immaculately made up, now carried the softness of someone who had endured emotional and physical exhaustion. Their tone was raw, their words heavy. "We don't know who we are anymore," Todd admitted. "Coming out of prison is like being born again, but you're not a baby. You're someone who's seen things you can't ever unsee." After spending more than a year behind bars for bank fraud and tax evasion charges, the Chrisleys were released from their respective prisons earlier this summer following sentence reductions. But the reunion hasn't been the joyful homecoming many expected. Instead, it has been a sobering, complex journey into a world they no longer feel part of. Julie wiped away tears as she described her first night back home. "I thought I would feel relief," she said softly. "I thought I'd lie in my own bed, hold my children, and feel safe again. But I didn't. I felt like a stranger in my own skin. My house, my kitchen, even my reflection in the mirror." Their oldest daughter, they all Savannah Chrisley, who had publicly advocated for their release and taken custody of her younger siblings during their imprisonment, was also present for the interview. We thought getting them home would solve everything, she confessed. But now I realize they've come back with wounds we can't see. Haunted by the experience. Todd's time at the federal prison camp in Pensacola was reportedly marked by multiple altercations with other inmates and a strict daily regimen that stripped him of his usual luxuries. He told the interviewer that sleep still escapes him, and loud noises trigger anxiety attacks. I used to be this man who controlled everything: our business, our show, our family image. In there, I was nobody, just a number, he said, looking down. The scariest part. I started believing I deserved to be nobody. Julie, who served her sentence in Lexington, Kentucky, opened up about how isolation affected her psyche. People assume prison is just bars and guards, but the real prison is mental. I didn't hear my children's voices for weeks. I missed birthdays. I missed Christmas. I missed life. And when I came home, I realized life didn't wait for me. She added that many of her former friends have remained distant, and she's not sure who she can trust anymore. Life after fame. The Chrisleys were once the face of Southern charm and luxury, with their hit USA Network show drawing millions of viewers. But now, they say, the cameras have stopped calling. While there were rumors about a possible documentary or comeback series, Todd said nothing is set in stone. The entertainment industry moves on quickly, he said. One day you're America's favorite family, and the next, you're a cautionary tale. He admitted that there were moments in prison when he fantasized about a triumphant return, a book deal, a tell-all. But now that freedom is real, he's not so sure he wants to relive the trauma. I'm not the man I was on that show, Todd said, and honestly, I don't know if I ever want to be him again. Julie chimed in. What we had was built on image. Now we're trying to build something that's just real. Struggles in the marriage. Perhaps most surprising was the couple's openness about the toll prison has taken on their marriage. They admitted to undergoing therapy, separately and together, since being reunited. There were times I didn't think we'd make it, Julie confessed. We were in two different worlds, writing letters, hearing rumors, fighting loneliness. When we came back together, we had to get to know each other again. And that's not easy after 27 years of marriage. Todd agreed. I was angry, at myself, at her, at God. And then I had to learn to forgive. That's been the hardest part. Despite the rocky road, they both affirmed that divorce was never on the table. We love each other, and we love our family, Todd said. That hasn't changed. A new mission. As part of their healing process, Todd and Julie have turned to advocacy. They revealed plans to launch a foundation aimed at providing mental health resources for families of incarcerated individuals and support for former inmates re-entering society. We had money, lawyers, and media coverage, and prison still broke us, Julie said. Now imagine what it does to people who don't have any of that. The couple said they want to use their platform to shed light on the lasting effects of incarceration, something they say no one prepared them for. The road ahead. The Chrisleys know that rebuilding their lives won't happen overnight, but they're committed to trying. Todd is working on a memoir, not for fame, but for closure. Julie has started volunteering with a local women's shelter and finds peace in gardening, something she picked up while in prison. They've also resumed Sunday dinners with their children, a tradition they hope will restore some sense of normalcy. We're not asking for sympathy, Todd said in his closing words. We're asking for understanding. We messed up. We paid a price. But we're still here, and we're still fighting. Julie added quietly, we're just trying to find the light again.